Alrighty, what's up everybody? It is I, your tribal god of extreme, Peter Joseph here, for a late Tuesday evening, getting close to Tuesday night video, right here on the main channel, Killer of Demons 669. As always, thank you for watching. Make sure you like the video, hit that subscribe button down there inside of my goddamn pants. It's there, trust me. If you want to look, go ahead, but ladies only. I don't swing that way. I don't smoke the skin pipe. That's for other people. You know who you are. Well, that's all I gotta say about that. But like the video, subscribe to my channels. All the links are down below in the gobbledygook. Leave a comment on the video if you like, but don't leave stupid comments. You're gonna get blocked. And if you don't like that, go cry to your mama, little bitch. Can't follow the rules? You don't need to be here. Go to your channel that nobody gives two fucks about. That's all I gotta say about that. Share the video all over the internet. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And don't forget to tap and slap that bell. Turn on all notifications so you don't miss the next one. Because if you do, you're pretty much SOL. And I think we all know what that means by now. But if you're new here and you don't know what it means, look it up. Speaking of newbies, if you're here for the first time, well, welcome to the party, pal. We hope you enjoy the ride. Sit back, relax, grab that cold one. Whatever you got, put your feet up and enjoy the show. And like I said, if you like it, great. You know, don't let the door hit your fat ass on the way out, motherfuckers. We don't need you here. We don't want you here. So kiss our ass. And that's that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, on this beautiful Tuesday evening, getting close to Tuesday night, June the 3rd, 2025, as we're rolling on with the first week of June. We're about 16 or 17 days, about 2 weeks away, until the start of summer. Can't wait for that. Gonna be epic. Gonna get a little bit hot this week, then cool down a little bit with some rain, and then next week, pretty much just like a carbon copy. It warms up a little bit, down again. Up, down, like my dick in your mom and girlfriend's ass. Because that's where it belongs. And that's pretty much it. Alright, before we get to NXT tonight, should be a great show. This is the go-home show before NXT Worlds Collide this Saturday afternoon from Los Angeles, California. And we got a big, huge main event match. We got the new TNA World Heavyweight Champion. You know him, you love him. He's Trick Willie Shabone. He's going to be taking on his arch nemesis and the #1 contender, the man from the Bronx, New York. Not a great place to live, but he's from there, and it's Mike Santana, formerly of LAX. It's going to be a good match. We'll see if Mike Santana can win the belt back, bring it back to TNA before Friday's Against All Odds event. And if not, well, we'll see what happens as we get to Slammiversary. But should be a great night of action Thursday night on TNA, then at Against All Odds, and then we're on the road to Slammiversary after that for TNA. But first, we gotta get through NXT first, and then we talk about Worlds Collide with all the Lucha Libre guys. You know, even this guy. Lucha Libre, how you doing there? Say it's me, Angelito. Ay. Yeah, gonna have fun on Saturday? Oh yes, I'm gonna eat some tacos and empanadas and have fun. Ay. With the senoritas. Ay. You know who else is gonna be there? Who is it? Osito. Ah! He doesn't like Osito. But it is what it is. But it should be a great pay-per-view this Saturday afternoon, beginning at 3 p.m. And I'll do my predictions Friday afternoon. So we got that. More matches might come tonight. We'll see what happens with that. And then we got more Money in the Bank stuff happening on SmackDown. But we move on with that. I'll talk about Raw probably later tonight, and then maybe get NXT up tonight, or most likely tomorrow, sometime early tomorrow afternoon. Because I do have some errands to run tomorrow. Because I have a life, motherfuckers, and you don't. So, kiss my ass, suck my big, humongous cock. Because you know your girlfriends and your moms love it too. But it is what it is. And that's that. Alright, before we get to NXT, it is time for your late, super late, so far out of motherfucking date, AEW Collision Review. Alright, this is from last Saturday, or this past Saturday, May the 31st, 2025. And we are once again emanating from the El Paso County Coliseum in El Paso, Texas, the hometown of my good buddy, my good friend, Eddie Galero, S.A. Eddie, how you doing today, Eddie? Oh, Mr. Joseph, I am having a great day, S.A. Really? You want to talk about it? Oh, me and China had a great... I don't want to know about that. I mean, I slipped it. No, I don't want to know. I don't want to know, Eddie. I just wanted to know if you were doing okay. But no buts. Except for China's butt. No buts. You just have fun. Oh, by the way, if you see Sabu, tell him I said hi. Oh, okay. If I see him, I say hi. You know that New Jack guy, he scares me, S.A. Pero. Oh, yeah, Jerome, It's Jerome. Just stay away from him. You'll be fine, okay? Don't worry, if he tries to step to me, I'd kick his ass. Well, you might. And if not, you just call Mikey. Okay? What? I meant, if Mike, protect Eddie, protect China from Jerome. Jerome's acting like a maniac again. He's snorting that cocaine again. God damn it! I'll see him at the bar later. I'll kick his ass. Okay, Mike, just calm down. Say goodbye. Bye! Okay. It is. It's crazy up there. Anyway. Alright, so, once again, we're from El Paso, Texas. Getting ready for Fyter Fest tomorrow night, actually. 4 hours of Dynamite and Collision. Oh, it's just insane! I think I need to go to the liquor store tomorrow, because I need to, wake up tomorrow. We're going to be done probably by the time Dynamite ends at 10. We're going to oh, it's over. No, we got Collision right after that. Make it stop. Come on, Tony Khan, stop. I got no more 4-hour show. I can't get through the pay-per-views in 6 hours. What the fuck is wrong with you? It is what it is, and that's pretty much it. But we got Dynamite and Collision Fyter Fest tomorrow. Some great matches on the show, but we'll talk about that tomorrow. But let's get through Collision from last week. 504,000 viewers. That's pretty good. Little bump up from the week before, which was Memorial Day weekend, where everybody was out and nobody was watching Collision. So, not Saturday. Thursday night, I think it was. Whatever day it was, we moved on with that. Blah, 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 blah. Alright, so, as always on Saturday nights, our commentary team of my good friend and yours, the legend that he is, Tony Baloney Schiavone, or Tony Schiavone, for all you people that love Jericho. And the great man from England, he's better than you, and you know it. No, it's not MJF, it's Nigel McGuinness, me love. A great man from England. There's nobody else great from England, except for Ozzy, of course, and a few others that are way better than certain people I know. But I digress. Let them burn in hell. Burn in hell! That's what they can do. They can scare me with their fucking community posts. It makes me laugh. Karma's gonna get you. Keep being dumb fox, see what happens. That's all I gotta say about that. Alright, so on Collision, we start off with our first match of the night. The Swiss, Claudio Castagnoli of the Death Riders, takes on the former Ring of Honor TV champion Commander with the hype man, Alex Abrahantes at ringside. The winner goes on to the Fatal 4-Way match for the Intercontinental title that Kenny has. We already know Brody King, who is already in there. He got in on Dynamite. So now we got 2 more spots to go. So let's get to Claudio and Commander. I'm going to paraphrase for a little bit. I'm not going to go through everything, because I got other things to do. We got NXT coming up, and I want to go through everything. So it was a pretty good match. Commander using his speed and his flippy dibbity-doos, and Claudio using his pretty much power, and usually power wins over speed. But we're getting to the end of the match. We get a half crab, which doesn't last long as Commander fights back to his feet. Tries to go for a Cielito Lindo, but it's a little bit too early for him to hit that. So Claudio, Fireman's carries him to the top rope, but Commander snaps off a Super Kanrana for a nice counter. Then he hits something like goes for a Whisper in the Wind. It got blocked, and then Claudio basically beats him up, picks him up, hits the neutralizer. 1, 2, 3. Claudio Castagnoli goes on to the Fatal 4-Way. Well, he will meet a good friend of his, Kenny Bacot Omega, and Brody King. And then later in the show, in the main event, we got Mascara Dolada Esse. Taking on Hichisero Esse. So, that's the main event, which is surprisingly on Collision. A luchador match. Go figure that one out. Alright, but this match wasn't that bad, so I gave it 3.25 out of 5 stars. And we're off and running on Collision. What's that? Alright, then we get the fallout for what happened on, with the Hangman, Adam Page, doing some cat-like shit, winning the Owen Hart tournament at Double or Nothing with Swerve. Not really wanting to work with him, that whole thing with him, Ocean Spray, and the Hangman on Dynamite, which was explosive. Even it means takes out the Death Riders. So then we see a segment where I believe Renee was trying to get a word with Swerve as he's leaving. He's leaving with Nana, about to get in the car. Will Ocean Spray stops him. He's like, slams the door. He's like, you ain't going anywhere, bluff. So Swerve still's like, I don't care what you have to say, Will. I'm not gonna work with that guy, and me and you are never gonna get on the same page. Blah blah blah. I'm not in on this, but Ocean Spray wants them to get on. Wants both of them to get on the same page. And then Swerve's like, I don't give a fuck. And then Ocean Spray's like, well, Adam Page is the best option we got to beat Moxley. And then Ospreay says, hey, Swerve, you still haven't beaten me yet. And then Swerve's like, you're delusional, man. What the fuck's wrong with you, bluff? And then they have a big old fight in the back, and like a security guards have to break it up. And there's one security guard standing right in the middle, and he just waited for his cue like an idiot. Go figure that one out. Alright, so I gave that segment 2.5 out of 5 stars. So, don't know what's going to happen. And, with Team AEW is falling by the wayside. Everybody's, like, hurt. And the Death Riders storyline is continuing to bore us half to death. That's that. Alright, then we go back to the arena. We have 6-man tag team action. We have the Don Callis family of, the new RPG Vice of Rocky Romero and Trent. They team up with Kosuke Takeshita, with the Takeshita, as they take on the New Japan Strong Openweight Champion, and that's Tomohiro Ishii, not Ishii, it's Ishii, and 2/3 of the Paragon, and that's Roger Strong, and Kyle O'Reilly. Auto Parts, as Adam Cole, obviously not there because of basically almost died thanks to Kyle Fletcher. Kyle Fletcher, you did a bad thing and you're getting major heat for that shit. But glad Adam's okay. He's back on Twitch for a little bit. He was on today, on yesterday, and a little bit today. Probably won't be on the rest of the week, which sucks. So, playing those great video games you know and love. Some new ones, too. Gotta love it. Jugs! And he got a puppy, too. What a guy. He's got a little puppy. So cute. And, I think it's a he or a she. But its name is Aloy. That's a weird name for a dog. Hey, Aloy! Ahoy! I mean, Aloy, ahoy! What kind of name is that? I would have named him something after Final Fantasy 16. You know the one I'm talking about. So cute, that dog. I mean, if you played it, I mean, that dog, it, like, brings tears to your eyes, especially if you play the DLC. That storyline with the dog is so impactful, so great. But anyway, move on. Alright, Don Callis on commentary. I think we saw Lance Archer. Everybody dies. He's at ringside as always. Match didn't last 10.5 minutes, but it was decent for what it was. We're getting to the end. And, Ratty hits an angle slam. Get out of trouble. Gets the hot tag to Kyle O'Reilly, who, quickly cleans house and tags in Ishii. So it's Ishii versus Rocky Romero SA, which is, I guess, a feud now in New Japan Strong over that belt. Not that Rocky Romero will ever win that goddamn belt. But anyway, Takeshita comes in, gets dropped with a suplex, followed by a sliding lariat by the big man for a near fall. To get back up, Takeshita gets a near fall off a blue thunder bomb. You're not Sami Zayn. Stop it. And then they trade big shots to face. And then Rocky Romero hits Ishii in his little Japanese balls. And then Takeshita hits Raging Fire. 1, 2, 3 to get the win over the New Japan Strong champion. And Takeshita's already a champion in New Japan. So they get that. So that should be very interesting to see what happens with that. We could get Takeshita and Adam Cole for the TNT title, since Fletcher couldn't get the job done. So we'll have that. I would hate to have Takeshita beat Adam Cole to become the TNT champion, but we'll have to see what happens with that. We move on. Alright, match was alright. 2.5 out of 5 stars, and we move on. Alright, then we go to our next match, a non-title match. We have the 5-tool player, Anthony Bowens, along with Daddy Ass, Billy Gunn, and just remember, ladies, Sesame Mommy Ass! Alright, so he takes on the IHOP Denny's Continental Breakfast of Champions champion, that's Okada! Alright, this match was alright, 10.5 minutes. A little flippy-dippy-doos here. We're getting to the end. Okada drops the big old Macho Man elbow. Oh, yeah, raining down from heaven. Oh, yeah, dig it. Ain't it right, Miss Elizabeth? That's right, Randy. Exactly. Thank you, Liz. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Mr. Joseph. You're doing very nice today. Oh, thank you. You look great, as always. Randy, you know what to do. Step into a Slim Jim, right? Yeah, that. Yeah, go ahead. Go snap into some Slim Jims. Go ahead. Anyway, moving on. He drops the middle elbow, then he gives us an old middle finger, and then he tries to give the middle finger right to Bowen's face, but Owens put up the scissor, and he's like, get his finger! So Bowens cuts him off on top, hits a spinning Hangman's DDT, interesting, and Okada misses the big-time drop kick and gets rolled up for a near fall, comes right back with the air raid crash on the knee, almost like collateral damage by Adam Cole, baby. And then he goes for the money clip, which I think is one of his new moves. That gets broken up, and Bowens hammers away. Okada goes to the Rainmaker and missed, and a super kick gives Bowens a little breather. He goes to the Mollywop. That got cut off, and then Okada picked him up, hit the Rainmaker. 1, 2, 3, and just about 10.5 minutes, Okada keeps on winning. Can't stop the guy. He's going on one of those New Japan runs where he holds the belt for like 7,000 days. He's held it for almost getting close to 2 years now. 400 and some odd days, so a little over a year and a half now. Crazy, isn't it? And we move on. Alright, then we go to the back with the lovely Lexi Nair. She's there with the Dancing Fool! Danny Garcia along with Daddy Magic, Matt Maynard. And you want to know what makes Daddy Magic's nipples hard? You want to know? Ask his wife. Or ask him on his podcast, so he still has it up. I don't even know if he does anymore. Alright. So anyway, they're talking about what happened at Double Nothing where FTR beat Danny and Nigel, which I'll talk about in a second. So Matt's like, come on, Danny, shrug it off. Because he's all disappointed. He's like, I let Nigel down. And Matt's like, don't talk like that. Stop being a pussy. You did good, Danny. Come on, you can do it again. Come on. Stop being a pussy. Basically. And then Don Callis, along with Lance Archer, everybody dies. They come in and mock Matt Maynard, and he's about to, like, beat the fuck out of Don Callis. I would love to see that. And then Don Callis like, hey, Danny, maybe you should join up with the Don Callis family instead of being with this guy. And he's like, why don't you just think about it for a change? Maybe Garcia turns heel again and joins up with Don Callis, which I think is a bad idea. But, you know, stranger things have happened in AEW. So, we'll see what happens with that. So I gave that 2.5 out of 5 stars. Alright, then we go back to the ring with my good buddy Tony Baloney Schiavone. He brings out FTR, fuck the Revival, along with, you know, the bald idiot himself, no, not Ricochet, Stokely Hathaway, for a little kitty cat. So we got Dax the X-Hardwood and Cash. He's got a clock Wheeler. So Schiavone's about to leave, but they say, hey, Tony, we need you here. Get in here. So Stokely talks about how FTR crushed Danny Garcia and Nigel McGuinness at Double Nothing. Nigel was on commentary. He's like, oh, this guy. Fuck this guy. And they're close to the Mexican border, so they issue a challenge, which they've all written down, to any team from south of the border. And then they start going into, you know, a song by Nelly. You know, that... Andale, mommy, E-I, uh-oh, what's poppin' in now? I'm like, we're singing Nelly songs now? What is this? We're going from that, and then we had, let the parties hit the floor! Which is now going to be a staple to Anarchy in the Arena, I heard. Nice! Metal, baby. Oh, Metal J Metal. Fuck Nelly and fuck this mumble rap bullshit. I mean, I do like Nelly, you know, in some way, like one song. It's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes. I am getting so hot, I'm gonna take my clothes off. Your mother and your grandmother love it. Or, I'll just go with the old Back to the Future line. I guess you kids aren't ready for that yet. But your parents are gonna love it. Well, something like that. I messed it up. I don't give a shit. Alright, so they do that. They make a challenge to any team in Mexico. So, who should come out? The CMLL Tag Team Champions, Templario and Atlantis Jr., along with their entrance. I'm surprised they have an entrance. So they come in, like, oh, what's the problem? Ese pero! Vato! You know? And then Cash Wheeler says, oh, they're somewhat living legends themselves, and they want to become 8-star FTR. And they're like, oh, maybe we should go after your CMLL tag team titles, and you guys can just give us a warm-up or some shit like that. And he brings up the upcoming Arena Mexico show, which I think is this weekend. I don't know when that is. I don't care less. And asks what it's like to be popular with your countrymen. And then they start mocking their masks, calling them Power Ranger masks. Really now? So Dax says, I know Tony Khan will have big plans for us at the show, so we can't have a match with you guys. So then he tells Atlantis Jr. to tell his dad, uh-oh, we're getting personal with the dad, oh boy, here we go. He's like, tell your dad to stay away from the team. And then Atlanta's like, hey, ese pedo, you don't talk about my father like that. I kick you in your ass, pendejo. I'm like, shit. So he talks about it in Spanish. And then, then a brawl is on, and then, the Luchadors fight back to clear the ring. And I think we have a match on Fyter Fest for this ridiculous match. I'm like, why? Why? We already know that FTR is going to beat these guys and probably win the CMLL tag team titles. What other tag team titles haven't they won yet? Besides, I don't think they won the TNA titles yet. Something to think about. And we'll see what happens with that. So 3.25 out of 5 stars for that. Then we're going to look at the CEO. CEO. Mercedes Moné and Timeless Toni Storm. Darling! Bosom. Darling. Alright, so we saw that the face-off at the end of Dynamite, which was pretty damn interesting. I can't wait for that match at All In. I really want Toni Storm to beat the fuck out of Mercedes and not let her win that belt. But, as we know, I think Mercedes will win that belt. And become like 16 belts Moné again. Oy, it is what it is. So we move on with that. Speaking of the ladies, we go to our ladies match of the night. I don't think it was at the death slot, but anyway. We got Sky Blue. She's back from what happened last week where she attacked my fourth amazingly hot Asian wife, Mina. Oh, I want you, Mina. You know I do. So we got Sky Blue and Mina Shirakawa. This was a pretty good match. 9-minute match. Back and forth they went. Get to the end. Mina hits a running knee. But then Sky Blue power bombs her out of the corner. Ow! For a near fall. And then Sky Blue hits a super kick, which staggers Mina. But Mina comes back, hits Sky Blue in the face with that back fist. Almost as great as Eddie Kingston's back fist. Or Io. Io hits a mighty back fist. You haven't seen it much, but we move on with that. Alright, then Mina goes up top. It's a super sling blade. Interesting. For a near fall. Then they trade fruit roll-ups for near falls. And then they get up. They more strikes to the face. Mina wins that exchange with another back fist. Knocking Sky Blue the fuck out. And then Mina hits the glamorous driver. 1, 2, 3. Mina's undefeated. Well, still undefeated. Well, on Collision, she did lose to Toni, so not technically undefeated, but she gets another win. Looking great as always, so we get that. So Mina gets the win. 3 out of 5 stars. And then as she's celebrating, Julia Hart comes from out of nowhere. Attacks Mina from behind. A little 2-on-1 beatdown. And then Timeless Toni Storm in a red dress, mind you. She comes out for the save. And, no kissing, but a little bit of hugging. Between the lovely lasses. You gotta love that. So, and that leads to a tag team match tomorrow night at Fyter Fest. Mina and Toni, I believe, teaming up for the first time. Taking on Julia Hart and Sky Blue, or Black and Blue Heart, or something like that. I forgot what it used to be called. I think it was Black and Blue Heart, or some shit like that. Moving on with that. So that's tomorrow night. So that should be a pretty interesting little match. With that. Alright, then we get a little hype video for the Gates of Agony. That's Bishop Quan! I do not Quan! Final Fantasy 9 reference. Great game, by the way. Love that game. Religiously love that game, Final Fantasy 9. Which I heard for the grapevine is getting remade. Oh, I can't wait for that. Oh, that's going to be a great game to remake. Oh, because they got to finish off 7. I would hope to get 9 done after that, which will be probably 2030 at this rate with the people in Japan and Squaresoft, those idiots. The guy that runs that company. Can we get part 3 of Final Fantasy 7 out like next year? Come on! Come on, I want to finish it already. And really, the 3rd game starts off at the end of disc 1. So we got 2 discs to play in the 3rd game, which I heard is supposed to be called Reborn, or some shit like that. Or Reunion. I don't know what it's called. Something with an R. Retribution. I don't know. But I can't wait for that game to come out. I played all 3. That's really 3 games with... You had a remake, Intergrade and Rebirth, which is great. Rebirth is so fucking good. I can't wait for the third one to come out. And how is Sephiroth gonna look in God mode? Woo! And what other little nicks, you know, little bitty things that were not in the first game. Not in the original game. What is this? How do I do this? Puzzles! Puzzles, everybody! I can't wait for that game to come out. I can't wait. It's gonna be epic. I mean, Elden Ring looks good. The new Elden Ring that just came out looks great. Dust Bloods, which is basically like kind of looks like Elden Ring / Dark Souls / Devil May Cry. I think it's on the PS5 coming out soon. Man, I'll be playing the fuck out of Dust Bloods when it comes out. Can't wait. And in Final Fantasy, the third part, the final part of the trilogy, I'm gonna be like, you won't probably see me much, because I'll be playing on the PS5. Shit. Alright, so we got Bishop 1 and Toa Leoa at the Gates of Agony. You get a little video about them. And then we see them, they have a little squash match against, Cosmo Orion and Gino Kaminari, known as Aerospace. Some Texas indie guys. I'm like, who the fuck is these guys? I mean, really, who the fuck are these guys? Anyway, Gates of Agony get the win with Open the Gates for a double pin. Tony Khan special. And there it is. 2 out of 5 stars. Alright, then we see Max Caster and Smart Mark Sterling, teaching fans, I get VIP fans, how to do his chant. Max Caster, the best wrestler alive! He's a piece of shit! And gets them to sign some fake as fuck petition saying he's in fact the greatest wrestler alive. So like, most of the first row signs his fake contract, his fake petition, and then he runs all the way out, and he was supposed to take pictures with the fans, and then he runs down the hallway like an idiot. And I'm like, what the fuck was that? A waste of time, that's what it was. Alright, so I give that a dud. 0. And that's it. Alright, then we go to another 6-man tag team match. La Facción Igalables. And that's, Bruce. You mess with the bull, ese! You get the horns! Alright, so he's there with Jalistico and the Beast! Mortos with a new mask. Pretty, the same mask, but in white. So anyway, they take on Top Flight, Darius and Dante Martin, with the lovely, vivacious, scrumptious Layla Gray at ringside, and A.R. Fox. 10-minute match, under 10.5 minutes. It was decent. Getting to the end, got a string of running drop kicks in the corner, hits A.R. Fox, but he gets in a shot off the top for a little breather. And then Darius Martin comes in, cleans house, including a shotgun dropkick into a DDT. Interesting, on Roosh. And then assisted Gilmore Kata! Bang! Gets a near fall on Jalistico, who comes right back with a springboard Canadian Destroyer. That was nice. And then another springboard move. We got a springboard Codebreaker into a flippy dippity doo, has Dante down on the floor, which leaves Roosh in the ring with Darius, and Roosh hits the Bullshorns essay. 1, 2, 3, so LFI get the win over Top Flight and AR Fox. And that's it. Match was alright, 2.5 out of 5 stars. And then after the match, Roosh grabs the electrical cable and starts choking Darius. But then we see Speedball, Mike Bailey, and Commander come out. They get beat up a little bit, and then they clear out LFI. So then we got another 6-man tag team match on Fyter Fest. So we got Roosh, Jalistico, and Mortis taking on Speedball, Mike Bailey, Commander, and the returning Jet, Kevin Knight. So that's gonna be interesting. to see tomorrow night. And we get that. Alright, then we get a nice video for the funky chicken himself, Mark Briscoe, and as always, we pay homage to the great man that he is, his brother, 2-time Ring of Honor champion, 13-time Ring of Honor Tag Team Champion, the great man that you are, sir, Jay Briscoe. Reach for the sky, boy. Yes, Jay Briscoe. Gotta love him. Alright, so Mark tells a story about how he has to tell his son that he did not quit in that 6-man tag team match on Dynamite, where Moxley basically choked him out. Now he wants to challenge Moxley one-on-one, non-title, and Tony Khan granted him the match, so we see that on Dynamite. I'm like, Mark, are you nuts? Well, don't answer that. Yes, he is. Is he gonna win? We'll see, but... So Mark, trying to stand up for himself and trying to, teach his son that he's not a quitter. So we got that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we finally get to the main event of the evening, the final spot in the Fatal 4-Way Intercontinental title match that's going to happen at Fyter Fest. So we got Hikaru against Mascara Dorada S.A. This was pretty good. Lots of lucha libre, flippy dippity doos galore. It's just an amazing match, under 14 minutes. We get near the end, and we get a double knockdown after we get a quick fall sequence, and then we get a double knockdown for a double breather, excuse me. And then Mascara Dorada's ankle scissors gets a near fall, and then Hikaru grabs a dragon screw leg whip over the rope. Ow! Followed by a top rope elbow, not a Macho Man elbow, but it's a top rope elbow for a near fall of his own. Then they go at it in the middle of that ring. Once again, they slug it out, and so Mascara Dorada grabs a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker, followed by a springboard super poison Rana. Holy shit! That is crazy as shit, as Jay Briscoe would say. Crazy as shit. What, Jay? Buck wild! Okay. Yeah, they went buck wild! Did it. So we got that. So after he hits that, then he goes up top, hits the shooting star press. 1, 2, 3, Mascara Dorada S.A. gets the win. And we got our Fatal 4-Way set up for Kenny's Intercontinental title. So Kenny will defend against the Swiss, Claudio Castagnoli, Mascara Dorada, and Brody King. Whew! That's going to be an interesting match. I think Kenny will retain. And I still think he has a date with Destiny and a possible maybe title for title match with a certain guy named Kada. But we shall see what happens as we come out of Fyter Fest. Next Wednesday is Summer Blockbuster in Portland, Oregon. And then we got Grand Slam Mexico SA. That should be fun. The week after that, the 18th. And then the 25th. I don't know where the 25th, but no, they're going to be closing out June on a high note. And then we got the July 3rd show. Then we got that big show in Texas, July 10th. Then we got Collision the 9th, I should say. July 9th, July 2nd, then July 9th. Got a couple shows. July 10th, Collision in Texas. July 11th is Supercard of Honor. And then we're at All In. Going head-to-head with NXT Great American Bash, which nobody's going to watch. And then we got Saturday Night's Main Event right after that. So, so All In pretty much will be a lead-in right to Saturday Night's Main Event. Because it's going to be a 5-hour show. You know it. It's going to be 5 hours. With the pre-show be 6 hours. So right as soon as it hits like 7:45, turn off the pay-per-view and, or put on Channel 4 and get ready for Saturday Night's Main Event. I mean, we'll have to see what happens with all that. But anyway, Collision wasn't a bad show, and I gave it 7 out of 10 stars. Let me know what you guys thought of the show in the comments section below. And like Trick Witty would say, let's talk about it. So, we'll talk about it in the comments section. And that's that. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my channels, all that good shit. And, yeah, we will move on with that. Alright guys, I'm going to get ready for NXT coming up in about 10 minutes. It should be a great show. Trick Witty defends the TNA title against Mike Santana. We've got a few other good matches on the card. leading into NXT Worlds Collide. This is the go-home show, so we'll see what happens tonight on your 2-hour Cure for Insomnia on the CW11 NXT from the Capitol Wrestling Center in Orlando, Florida. Alright, so we got that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I will be back later, once again, here on the channel with your official Raw review, and then we'll talk about NXT tomorrow. And if anything else comes your way tonight or tomorrow, I'll be here once again to grace you with my sexualness. I don't know what I just said, but okay. But I will grace you with my presence, whether you like it or not. And that's on that. So please, if you want more, hit that bell so you don't miss anything. Because if you miss anything, well, you're pretty much SOL, and you know what that means by now. And that's that. Alright, guys, we got the Met game later tonight on SNY. Big Mets win last night, even though they blew it in the night. Diaz was doing so good, and then, June comes, and he's like, oh, fuck, I gotta blow a save. Thankfully, he didn't blow it to have the Mets lose. The Dodgers got tied the game thanks to Ohtani with a sac fly. Made it 2-2. And then the Mets get two big, huge runs in the top of the 10th. And then it get a little bit dicey in the bottom of the 10th. Castillo comes in. This guy, I have no idea who he is. Puts the first couple runners on. Then gets a strikeout. Then, I believe he gets a fly out. And then, Budo comes in after Dave Roberts, the coach of the Dodgers. What are you doing? He brings up, I think it was Will Smith, I forget who. But then, he hits a ground ball. I thought it was going to go through the middle. And who knows if the Dodgers would have tied the game. I think it went to 4-3. It could have tied the game. It could have been a different outcome. But Budo with a quick save, caught the ball, threw it to Alonso for the out. Mets win! Duh! Mets win! Alright. They are pretty much, they've won the last 3 or 4 games from the Dodgers this season. That's might come in handy as we get if they get into the playoffs and meet each other again, maybe in the NLCS if both teams get there, but we'll see. It's early, it's June. But big win for the Mets. We'll see what happens tonight. Tyler McGill on the mound against Clayton Kershaw. Oh boy, gonna be a pretty, tough game for the Mets. We'll see what happens in Game 2 of 4 in Los Angeles, California. So we'll talk about that later. This is at 10 o'clock, so after NXT, we'll head over to SNY and watch the game. That's that. And then the Yankees are at home against I think Toronto tonight. Garbage teams. Who cares? Well, the Mets are up 1.5 games over the Filthies, who got pretty easy schedule this week. I think they got Cleveland and they got somebody else, I forget, but so hopefully, the Mets got a little hard schedule. They got the Dodgers the next 3 games. Then they fly to Colorado to face the Rockies in that thin air. They already swept the Rockies over this past weekend. Hopefully, they sweep them again, and they go back home for a little while. And see what they do. Because the Phillies in Atlanta are, coming to town in about a couple weeks. And then the Yankees on 4th of July weekend. So that should be fun. So we got lots of baseball to come as we head into the summer. The boys of summer are here. And we're going to kick some ass. The Mets are going to kick some ass as we continue on. Getting close to 40 wins, actually. I didn't even think they were going to get 40 wins by July. Or mid-June and early July, who knows? But they're doing great right now. Soto, Lindor is on fire. Soto got a big hit. Sadly, Mark Vientos went down with a hamstring injury, so they brought up Ronnie Mauricio, who's going to be playing. I don't know if he's going to play tonight, but we'll see. So that's big for the Mets. I think Vientos should just get traded. He did great in the NLCS, but, this season it just hasn't been a good start for him. And Brett Beatty doing pretty good now after raking the freaking minor leagues like Mauricio was doing. So see if Mauricio can pick up where he left off in the minors and make the National League. So we'll see what happens with that. Alright, I gotta go. NXT's about to start. So I'll see you guys later for Raw. I'll talk about NXT tomorrow on my Peter Joseph channel. But until next time, motherfuckers, if you're not down with that, well, I got 3 words for you, motherfuckers. And you better remember it. Fuck you, man. And that's it. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay sexy. And for you other douchebags, stay obsessed. Love you all. Peace.